Hey Bean Beauties, welcome back. Today's another episode of Topic Tuesday, and it's an extra special episode today because it is a collab with none other than Dawn from Dawn Loves Couture. We are both going to be doing Topic Tuesday, and it's the same topic. The topic is how fashion helped me find my people. So we're both going to have our own take on it. So after you watch my video, please head over to her channel and watch her channel. So if you want to hear my take, come on back in just a second. Welcome back to Topic Tuesday. Bean Beauties, thanks so much for coming. Y'all seem to be liking it. At least you diehards out there from the channel seem to be liking it, and I'm glad. Today is Topic Tuesday. Like I said in the intro, it is a collab with Dawn from Dawn Loves Couture. And I thought this was fitting to do it with Dawn because Dawn was the first handbag channel that I stumbled across, and literally stumbled across. I was looking for jewelry, Effie Jewelry in particular. She had an Effie Jewelry unboxing, and I thought she's a fun little lady. So I saw some other videos of hers, and it was like, it is a Dooney and Burke. And then now I'm on YouTube, and I feel like it's all because I stumbled that one day across Dawn's channel. And through the handbags and fashion, and the handbags in particular, I have found my people. I found my people. And I didn't even know I needed people. So I thought it was fitting that I did this collab with Dawn. So she was going to have her own take on this Topic Tuesday. So please head over there and watch her channel. If you've come from Dawn's channel, thank you very much for visiting with me. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out and joining with me. If y'all have not subscribed to my channel, please help me reach 2,000 by the end of this year. It's my goal for this year. It just kind of keeps the content creator growing and wanting to do more content. So I would greatly appreciate it. Alrighty, so I'm going to kind of break it up. I was trying to think about how I would want to do this. I'm going to kind of break it up in little chunks for y'all. Why fashion matters to me, and had it always mattered to me, and what was the first thing that mattered to me, like what was the first thing. Now, my first memory of shopping and my first memory of buying a handbag, I was 5 years old. I was with my mom, and we were at Josky's, and we were down below in Josky's where is all the sales stuff, everything, and she was looking for outfits for me and to wear, and I was just kind of moseying around and everything, and she said I could look as long as I stayed within eye shot of her. And I remember coming across, and I still, part of that memory is still in my mind, is that you came across and they had those shopping racks, and on the edge of the shopping rack was this colorful kind of a sundress that I remember, and it had a handbag attached to it. And I was like, I didn't care about the dress. It was the purse that I wanted. And I told her, I found one. So I showed it to her, and she said, you like this one? And I said, I want the purse. I didn't care about the dress. I wanted the purse. So that's why we bought it. So that's my first fashion memory. It was intertwined with a handbag memory and with my mom. And my mom was not a shopper. She didn't like to shop. She was not one of those that liked to shop. So that was a precious memory for me. And like I said, I can still remember that in my mind. And I actually do have a picture. I do have my picture, and if I can find it, I will put it up on the screen. My grandmothers loved the accessories. They loved the jewelry. And my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, my mom's mom loved these gaudy type of earrings and things like that. She was more dainty-ish, and she did a lot of accessories and things like that, but she wasn't quite as ostentatious as my maternal grandma. They both liked shopping, and there was some times where I got to go shopping with both grandmas at the same time. my maternal grandma, she drove, and so she drove me and my paternal grandma around, and we went shopping with her. And I remember one time we were at Kmart. Okay, that was back when we had Kmart back in the day, and they had a sale on these. They were macaroons, but they were the little coconut kind of macaroons, and they were on sale. And my maternal grandma was all excited about it, and oh, they're on sale. So my momo had purchased these macaroons, and my abuelita had bought some too. And we get in the car, and so they're offering me some. and my momo, is telling her, hey, well, let's open mine, and you can save yours for when you get home. And so my grandmother's like, hey, it's okay. And she goes, you don't like them? And she says, not so much. And she says, and they're talking in Spanish. And she says, well, why did you buy them? She says, because you said it was a good deal, so I bought them. So they're all like, all caught up in all of the sales and stuff. And that was a fun day. And I remember that. And so we did shop for clothing and things like that. I'm not sure what we were all shopping for, but that was the memory, was that it was the excitement of the sale, the excitement of the hunt, the excitement of the fellowship. And it brought my abuelita to buy some too, and we were home with packages and packages of macaroons, but they were good. Us kids enjoyed them. But fashion has been more, to me, has always been more an aesthetic thing, has been more of a feeling, a more of how does it pep me up, how does it make me feel. And I don't like to get into anything, purchase anything that's over my head or makes me feel guilty or makes me feel bad, because that's not what I want to be in fashion, handbags, that kind of stuff, luxury realm. I did my last topic Tuesday was about how I see luxury, and so I try not to venture too far into that section where it makes me feel bad. If I don't want to overspend, I try to be responsible with it. Do I always do it? No. Does it always happen? No. But those were the beginnings of my people, finding my people. And my people happened to be my relatives at the time. Now we'll travel into present day YouTube life. Watching YouTube and then becoming a content creator myself. Finding Dawn and finding her channel and finding how excited she was at the time about Jeannie and Burke, and how it all brought me to this moment now. Dawn and I just connected. We connected in the comments. I do know that Dawn was my first collab. She was my first tag. So she took me under her wings, and she took it very seriously. I know that if I had a couple questions about some things that happened, early on, you run into a little bit of YouTube drama and stuff, and I reached out to her, and she says, I don't have the answer for you, but let me ask around, and I'll let you know. Or she calmed me down and says, hey, don't, you do you stick to you, don't worry about it. And she's, she noticed, hey, you're not getting very many views, you put these tags in there, do this. Always very helpful, and just genuine with me. And I'm like, gosh, if it wasn't for the love that I grew up with Jeannie and Burke and finding her, what are the odds that I would have ever met her in a real life, non-YouTube life? The odds were very low, because I never would go to New York. That's why I try to make sure and answer all of my comments back. I try to make it a safe space. That's why I try to make my channel and say, we want to be positive here. I try not to be a negative Nelly over here. And it's not because I don't have opinions about topics. It's not because I'm afraid of them or whatever. It's just that I want to bring joy to the world and not add to it. There's enough misery out there, and there's enough great channels that have really controversial topics that y'all can go see, and I just don't want to be part of that. And I've had this discussion with Dawn, and I've had it with other content creators as well too, and they're like, if that's what you want, Dee Dee, then let that be your thing, and just stay there, just stay there. And if you ever want to find something else, then that's fine, that's fine, you can do that. On here, I have found my YouTube BFF, which all of y'all may be familiar with, which is Melissa from Simply Lady M. And we have crossed over from a YouTube BFF to BFFs. I mean, we talk on the daily almost. And we talk about handbags, definitely. We talk about, fashion, around the world. We talk about different things, how things affect fashion, releases, things like that. But then we also talk about family. I mean, I lost some precious animals in my life. I lost my dad during this time, and she has been there. She's been there. I've had some anniversaries come up with the deaths, my mom, and things that have just kind of impacted me. And she has been there for me, and she has had some similar struggles in her life. And I would like to say that I was there for her as well too. And so I definitely found my person. If it wasn't for YouTube and it wasn't for fashion, never would have happened. And the thing as far as finding the people is that I do have a hometown BFF. She's never really been, we've never talked about handbags. I mean, we both had kids growing up. We've known each other since our boys were 8 years old. And we met through church, and we've had all those kinds of discussions. We've had, some really tough times that she's been there, but we've never really talked about like frivolous things, like handbags, because we didn't have the time. We didn't have, that just was not something. And when I first started the channel, she wasn't negative about it at all or anything. It just wasn't something she was too much on her radar. Once we figured it out, she likes the tiny bag. She saw my Christmas tree. She says, "What is that?" And I says, "Tiny bags." She went crazy. I told her where I bought some of them. I was going on all the different places and shopping. And so that's her thing, is she liked the tiny bags, the mini bags, the micro bags. Those are what she likes. And so it not only brought me my YouTube friends and content creator friends, it has brought me the my hometown friends. We've brought us closer and have something else to bond with. It also has helped me bond greatly with my grandkids. It's both my granddaughter and my grandson. And my granddaughter's into bags and things like that. And so we're, she's come in here and she's borrowed a couple of my purses. And when her and I went out and about, and it's just it's just a fun thing now. I feel like I'm kind of passing that on to her, just something that we get to share. And my grandson too. I mean, the fashion for him, it's not so much about the handbags, but it's about YouTube, and it's about the editing, and it's about how you edit, and about what you do. And so the fashion, the results of how we get the fashion stuff on here on the platform has helped bonded me and my grandson along with that. And so that has helped as well as long too. So I have found my content creator people, and my hometown people, and my family people. And I also have found you who comment all the time and have sent me some emails, some precious emails, and have confided some precious things to me. And I just absolutely love that, being able to cross the divide, to cross over and through the lens, and find the people through a comment, through a simple comment. And so I greatly appreciate that. So I do admire when y'all share with me, and I do appreciate every comment that you make, if every emoji that you send. It truly is heartwarming to me, and I thank you for it, because you're my people too, because you're here for whatever reasons. You're here and you're my people. To kind of wrap it up, is like, why does it matter? Why does the connection matter? Why does the finding the people through fashion matter to me? And why was it something that I wanted to talk about? And it matters to me because, unbeknownst to me, I needed this platform. I needed this handbag world, this fashion world, more than I even knew that I needed it. I have talked with some of my YouTube friends, and I've talked about how that I didn't even realize how down in the dumps I was. I was definitely feeling lonely. I was having all of these issues. I didn't have anything that was just for me, that made me feel worthy, that made me feel like I was contributing to society, that made me feel like anything. I had quit work. I quit my servicing, in church. I because of my health. So I didn't have those things. And I have always been a person of service. That has always been one of my my contributions to society is to serve others. And I can't do that anymore because I physically I can't do it anymore. I just can't. And I didn't realize how sad that made me. It made me sad. And I didn't realize how sad I was. I was very sad. It really wasn't until a year after I had been on YouTube and I had met the goals and I had hit the monetization. And it wasn't the fact that I got monetized, because you don't make much money on here. Maybe I'll do a video if y'all want on that. How much have I made since I got monetized? That's been another topic that's kind of going around. But so you don't make much money on YouTube. It's at least I don't, not where I sit. But I have made connections with people, and I have come out of my shell, and I have become me again. I've become more of me before I had kids, more of me of when my husband and I were dating. More of that person, and he even says, I see the sparkle in your eyes, I see that joy in your eyes. And he was my number one cheerleader. Who was right runner up was my grandson and my granddaughter, and without them pushing me in a good way and supporting me to keep going, I don't think I'd be here. So that we're y'all, the fellow content creators and the viewers encourage me as well too. And the way y'all encourage is by the comments, by watching the videos, by seeking me out on other platforms, and it makes makes me a person. Let's just talk about me. It makes me feel like I am contributing in some way. Because when I share about my illness and when I share about how I'm maneuvering through it, it's part of my life. Why am I going to hide it? It's part of every decision I make, even how I pick a handbag, how I buy a handbag, how I pick it for that day, how I feel. It's part of everything. I had lost myself. I had lost people. And this is coming, y'all, right out of being, in the shutdown, right out of having not had contact, and I lost lots of friends. I truly believe there's a season and a time for everything. I'll try to put the scripture up here of what I'm referring to. And God brings people in and out of your life, and I truly believe that, for a purpose, for a season, for a reason. So even though it would be a tiny bit or a lot bit hurtful when people leave your life, but I also try to put it into perspective, because I'm thinking, okay, well, I've left people's lives. I left people's lives as well too, mainly because of my health. But it's like, okay, well, it is what it is, and I believe that he knows what he's doing, and I try to turn those things over that I have no control over to him to do that. And I truly believe that he led me that day to dawn so that I could find my people, and my people could help me find me. My people could help me find me. And I did a little short, which I'll probably release when this releases, or maybe the next day. I'll link it in the description box. And it's just a set of pictures of me throughout being on YouTube. And it's like I'm going, okay, I definitely found Dee Dee. It's like that movie Seeking Susan is seeking Dee Dee, and I believe that through this menial thing of fashion, through this that doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, I found my people, and my people helped me find me, and that's why it matters. And that's why I kind of wanted to do this as part of Topic Tuesday, and I wanted to thank Dawn, and I wanted to thank everybody else who has been part of my YouTube life. If I didn't mention you specifically as a content creator, you know who you are. You know that when you helped me through getting out of that, I bought a fake Coach bag, and I had help from two content creators who helped me through that. I had help through found some meanness on YouTube and got kind of in a little pickle with that. Found a way out of that through other content creators. I have been so fortunate to meet face to face people as I've had them as guests on my lives. That has been a wonderful thing that I got to just know a little bit more about the content creators at home and brought them to y'all. I try to do my way of service because that means a lot to me. And it's like, okay, how can I give service back to YouTube, to this platform, to these people, to these fashion people who have helped me? And that's one of the ways I do that. And so that's kind of the thing with Topic Tuesdays, is trying to give back with what little wisdom I have. I'm just grateful for every bit of it. You know, I'm grateful for every handbag. I'm grateful for every shoe. I'm grateful for every view. I'm grateful for every content creator has come in my past. Those who I've watched, those who I've connected with, and those who I just see at afar. You know, I'm grateful for each and every one of them. So you, Bean Beauties, are my people. You are my Bean Beauties people, and I am wholeheartedly thankful for each and every one of you. Each and every one of you who watched any of my videos since I have been on YouTube, I am grateful for. So if you want to see a better concise definition of fashion and finding your people through fashion, go watch Dawn from Dawn Loves Couture. I'll link her channel below because, yeah, she's a lot better at discussing and doing topics than I am. I'm just a baby at it, and I'm just trying to dip my toe in the water because some of y'all have asked, and I hope that this finding my peoples and what finding my peoples means to me, I hope it brought some value to you and to the channel. So don't forget to go watch Dawn. And let's see, if you have stayed to the end, put some people down. Whatever kind of people that you want. If you stay till the end, put some people down. Your little emoji person down lets me see you and know that you are here and you've stayed till the end, and I greatly appreciate it. Love you, Bean Beauties. Have a nice one. See you next Topic Tuesday. Bye-bye.